Hello and welcome to the 312th ever Rony's Tuesday Fun Race and the first round of Season 2 in Live for Speed with the Formula V8 at Westhill International Reversed. I'm Peter Butcher, and joining me in the commentary box for round number 1 is Zdenek, Cagas and Eoin Harmon. Boys, how are you doing? Eoin, let's start with you.
Yeah, I'm keeping well, thank you. I'm just having some technical issues at the moment, so I hope that's the end of it. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not too late.
Well, we'll bring the viewers up to speed with just what went into preparing tonight's round, because it is quite a story, and we might as well have a bit of fun. Zdenek, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. I'm quite looking forward to this round because it's been a while since I saw a Formula 8 round. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, so in the run-up to the Teesside British 24-hour, which happens every year, I, along with a few other of the Sim Broadcast team, have made our way to Edinburgh. I am currently at Extreme Karting in Edinburgh, in a back room somewhere, while Travis, Adam, Mikey are currently karting. And I wasn't supposed to be commentating this, but Owen had a power cut. So I ran to the car and got my stuff ready, and I'm here. I found the lovely people at Extreme Karting in Edinburgh have kindly set me up in a back room, so that's I appreciate that. So anyway, Owen, you're here. Hopefully I'm here for the whole thing. But yeah, just a word of warning, and then thanks to Zdenek, of course, for jumping in case everything went wrong. Chris McElroy's here, of course, in the background as always. He's going to be doing the cameras this evening. But yeah, that is why we're slightly late to air. But I hope you can appreciate it. So yeah, we're going to very quickly run through what is going to be happening in Season 2 of RTFR in 2023. It's going to be a 10-round season. Owen, Season 1 was 12 rounds.
Yeah, it certainly was, and it came down to the second to last race before the very end. The Sidus guys, basically, the gap between them was too big, so it was basically neither of them showed up, and the championship was therefore already decided.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, I think we do have an update on the final driver championship standings, but it was Gabor, of course, who won overall. He won Season 1 triumphantly by quite a margin, and that will see him. He's going to have to work pretty hard in Season 2. I think there's going to be some stiff competition, especially because tonight we're at a very, very difficult circuit. We're at Westhill International Reversed in an even more difficult car. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is a 5.8 kilometre, 3.6 mile circuit, and we're going to be racing here for 20 laps tonight. We have done a 60-minute qualifying session, of which there are just 2 minutes to go. Let's look at the car, the Formula V8, 3-litre V8 rear engine, rear wheel drive car. Extremely difficult, Owen, to get around here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be put to the test. The fact that there's a lot of rises and dips, and yeah, the oversteer is going to be a pain through the double apex first hairpin or in the reverse layout, and then side-by-side action could be fairly difficult to achieve as the track narrows in Sector 2.
Yeah, Zdenek, this car is fearfully difficult. It's been used plenty of times at Westhill, but I can't remember the last time we ran it in the reverse direction.
Indeed, I was quite surprised that they only picked this combo because I think the normal direction fits this car well, but also this reverse direction adds some extra difficulty, so the drivers will have to show their skill a bit more, in my opinion at least.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're going to catch just the dying moments of qualifying here as we approach the end of the session, and we'll see just what's going on with those standings. And yeah, I think we only have a couple of laps remaining.
Yeah, actually, the time for the qualifying has already run out. The drivers are finishing their final laps as we are speaking right now. We see on the graphics, and we are watching Ayub, who's on his final qualifying lap, trying to improve his 9th position.
Yeah, well, I said that Gabor would have a challenge. It looks like he's taken that challenge, with both hands. He's currently on provisional pole.
He took it personally and he made quite a gap. So unless something goes wrong, I think he's the biggest favorite for a win today. It's a Formula car with high grip, which is his favorite class, and he should be showing everyone his rear wing.
So that is everybody, and we are going to do the qualifying results then. On pole position, it's going to be Sidus Gabor with a 1:37.55, ahead of Fragmaster's Fatal making a return to the series. Then we've got Zesty, Unite, Aerotax Sean Lee, I think that is. Thamuli's there in P6, Rony for Race Green, Pekka Koivunen, Ayub, Magic, RD2, Motomakari, Johnny SVK, Iron Donny, Pedro, Michael, Madjester, Lara, Hachiroku, and Rayman, the top 20. Over on the second page, we have Master, T-Bug, Mies, Sobis, and Danilo. And that will be the 25 starters for this round.
Hopefully, Ronnie doesn't disqualify those with the times over the qualifying time limit, which is the final 2 cars. But Sobis, I hope, should be okay because he's a well-known driver. He just jumped in on the server last minute. Danilo, on the other hand, his time is way off, and his destiny is solely in Ronnie's hands.
Keep an eye out on that in this sort of warm down session before the race actually begins. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if Rony allows a time way beyond 2 minutes into the race.
Yeah, we do have quite some gaps on this grid. You can see that the top 10 are separated by over 2 seconds. Actually, I think they're separated by 3 seconds. This is insane. This is incredible.
Yeah, it just shows the difficulty of the car because you have to know how to set it up, or you just have to process to set up, and then you have to perform with the setup on the track. And as you said, it just shows that not everyone is capable of doing as good a job as the top 5, let's say, or because they are, or top 4 rather, they are just in their own class.
Yeah, we have a couple of minutes to go before the start of qualifying, and yeah, we have a tantalising season in prospect here as we see one of the Fragmasters cars there in the background losing the rear of their FO8. RTFR going from strength to strength. We're in the middle of summer at the moment, so that's why the grids aren't full, but it's still great to see 25 cars turning up for what is an extremely difficult combination. I mean, like I said before, the spread of times on the top 10 alone is enough proof that this is difficult. The top 20 are separated by almost 6 seconds. This is unbelievable. We haven't seen a grid this kind of spread out in a very, very long time, especially in RTFR. This is going to be pretty intense at the front between Gabor, Fatal, and a few others, but let's see how well everybody's dialed in their race setups. I think that's really going to be the talking point here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's quite the opposite to your karting event, where I bet it's very close, bit from first to last.
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, we're at Extreme Karting here in Edinburgh, and that's just we're just meeting up. And Travis has flown all the way over from Kansas City in the US to compete in the 24-hour, and we're just here kind of for a. We're just here for a bit of a warm-up, I guess. We're at an indoor karting centre. The 24-hour takes place in Teesside, in Middlesbrough, in England, this weekend coming. We head down there from Wednesday and set up and prepare our karts for the race. But yeah, they are going to come and interrupt the broadcast at some point, so I will have to mute myself because they're very excited and giddy.
All experienced commentary guys, so yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it might be fun to have Travis and Adam and Mikey along to just have a word. Andy Alston is also here. I forgot to mention that. Andy Alston is also at the kart track. So yeah, everyone's here except Chris, who joins us tomorrow.
That's perfect. We are looking forward to that.
Well, yeah, they won't be able to hear you because I've got my headphones on, but I guess I could unplug. It might be chaotic, but we need to stick to the racing action, of which there are 5 minutes to go before the start of the race. But yeah, some of the Sim Broadcasts team being here is making this a little bit more difficult than normal. But there we are. It should be fun. If I go quiet at any point, Zdenek and Eoin, you're in capable hands with them too. So if I disappear, you know what happened.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I should mention that Chris is also here, of course. He is in the background doing the cameras and everything. So, yes, his capable hands as well. I appreciate all your help. So 5 minutes to go. Gabor is alongside Fatal on the front row, which is a pretty fiery front row. Half a second, though, separates the top two. Let's have a look at the championship standings from last season, because that is the interesting story. Here are the final results. Gabor led Rickardle in the end. It was the Gutscast in P3, Anti-Valta P4, Thamuli, Fatal, Rony Unite, Mantas and Aska the top 10. And we have a heck of a lot of screens of results for this, so bear with me while we go through them all and just recap everyone on what the results were at the end. But yeah, we have an interesting racing prospect, an interesting season in prospect as well. RTFR entering well into the 300s of its history now. Remember that there's one race every 2 weeks, so that makes up for a lot of years. 312 races, with only 50 or so a year. So there we go. I'm facing away from the windows here, which is quite scary because at any moment I know I'm going to get hands grabbing the back of my neck. So you need to take over, Eoin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all right. I see Sean in the chat is actually hoping for some questions for him to answer before the race gets going. So I'll try and ask him one on Twitch before we get going.
Cool, brilliant. Well, anyway, there we go. That's all of the Drivers' Championship standings. We've got 99 times there. 99 standings there, which is an incredible amount of drivers who turned up and competed in Season 1 over the 12 races that we were broadcasting. And, of course, we have only 10 races this season, which is slightly shorter as we run up to the end of the year. We had a summer break, of course. That's why there are slightly fewer in Season 2. But yeah, there are another 10 rounds of RTFR action coming your way before the end of the year, up to December 5th. Okay, let's just recap the combo then. We are going around Westhill International in the reverse direction tonight for 20 laps, which are going to be over in a flash because this car is absolutely rapid. It is one of the most difficult single-seaters to drive in Live for Speed, besides the BF1 and the similar mods. But it's got no traction control, unlike the BF1, so it's incredibly, incredibly difficult. So yeah, there we go. The Formula V8 in all of its glory, its green glory there in that graphic, but 3.8 litres of V8 rear. Who's that? Is that Rony entering the pits in reverse? It is.
Yeah, it is.
Just a nice little camera angle of that mischief. Anyway, there we go. So all that to look forward to in just a moment's time as the drivers get ready. 2 minutes to go, Eoin and Zdenek. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I think there are all the drivers going to start? There was question marks about a couple of them. Has Rony given them the green light to go?
Well, there was no message in the chat so far, so I suppose he's been... Oh, that Daniel apparently left the server. Sobiz had some wheel trouble, so he's fixed that, so hopefully he will be okay.
Yeah, it looks like there is some other disconnects as well. So some drivers have chickened out. I think that's the only way to describe it.
Yeah, currently we have 20 people ready to start the race, if I'm counting correctly. Yeah. So we will have quite a good grid. As you said, it's middle of the summer, and the grid is still pretty packed, and it will be a good action throughout the race, we hope.
Indeed, and that race is going to come up any moment now. It is 10 past the hour, and that is the time at which we normally start the races here at RTFR. The drivers will be instructed to restart the race, and then we will be going. Here we go.
It's happening, yes.
So the grid has formed. You can see the poster Gabor in a Ferrari red. He has taken priority ahead of Fatal on the left-hand side of the screen. Here come the lights. And the launch begins. Happy new season. Let's see what happens. The journey to the first two corners begins. Gabor blocks Fatal as he as he needs to with Zesty in the lime green in third place. Let's see if any drivers fancy their chances up the hill. Looks reasonably clean. A bit of a trouble there for probably Sean. I know it's probably was it Zesty? A bad getaway there, but it's okay. Now chicane coming up here, guys.
That's
a casual one, yeah. 42 and a significant hit there.
Yeah, it looked like somebody went into the tires and then RD2 got just collected as we lose the screen for a while. So apologies for the difficulties. Yes, we are back watching Ayub attack around the outside into the chicane. Very well done. He gains the 4th place.
Sean Lee loses out. So he'll be hopefully out of his difficult corner. He replied to me in the Twitch chat saying turn 6 is very difficult on mouse. Rony here in P7, a solid start for him.
Yeah, as we can already see the top 3 pulling away, massive gap, 3 seconds from the 4th Ayub, and T-Bug already spectates, and also Lara.
Magic has a crash. Magic crashes. Turn 10, I think it is, or not 13. So he's going to face backwards and have to start all over again. Possibly suspension damage on his car.
Oh yeah, there's a big damage on the left rear and some on the left front. So I suppose he will pull into the pit lane, yes, as he does right now.
This is on board with Unite here. He wants to have a better campaign this time around. I know he had some disappointing results in season 1. Top 5 would be a very impressive start, but with the quality of drivers in front of him, it's not going to be easy.
Well, United lost. I think he was 3rd. Am I wrong, or 4th, or am I getting it wrong on the grid?
I think he was about 4th. Yeah, maybe Sean was able to jump him on the start, and Ayub took advantage as well, something like that.
Yeah, it's a big loss for him. So he has a job cut out for him for the next 18.5 laps.
Good evening, fellas. A surprise in the commentary box. This is Travis in a European time zone. How's it going?
My goodness, welcome, Travis. Yeah, we're just in the 2nd lap. So how are you keeping?
Well, Pete's okay. He's handed the mic over to me. I asked him to count me in, so it wasn't such a huge shock to you guys. But I'm in a European time zone, actually sitting alongside Pete, and thrilled to be here with you for a minute before I have to go back to other commitments. But I'll chime in to say that it is no surprise to me to see Gabor at the top, and I'm sure it is equally unsurprising to you guys. Ooh, in the Ferrari livery, I like it.
Yeah, very, very nostalgic one for me, personally. Travis, the F310B.
They know that your other commitment is karting, by the way, Travis.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't want to rub it in.
Yeah, Travis, I hope the jet lag is kind on you.
It has been. Yeah, I had yesterday was long and a little bit rough, but I'm back on a normal clock this morning. So happy to be here alongside Pete, and happy to chat with you guys for a minute.
And it looks like Ayub and Unite are having a scrap here. Ayub trying to get that place back.
I think Unite is just getting. Oh, as I almost jinxed him. I was about to say that he's getting his place back. Almost loses it on the grass on the exit from the right-hander. It seems like Ayub is too far to draft, so we will see how this situation develops as Unite slightly pulls away and chases after Sean.
A nice little interruption there from Travis, but there we go. Zesty then P3, but closing up to the back of Fatal. This looks like there could be a move on soon. If he can get a good exit out of the final corner, then he could get into the slipstream. Incredibly difficult to keep this car on the road in the reverse direction because some of the curbs are in the wrong place. You don't have some exit curbs in certain places, which makes it extremely difficult to keep the wheels on the track. In this case, Zesty not close enough actually to make the move, but he's looking fast. He's only a couple of tenths behind. So, yeah, one to watch out for. But we know Zesty is incredibly quick in these single-seater cars. There you go. You see Fatal having a little bit of a correction mid-apex there. We've got Abe versus Unite, and it looks like Abe's made it past.
Indeed, he just dived into the inside of turn 1, and Unite loses the position again.
Well, good to see scrapping going on. Genuine Racing livery making its reappearance. It looks quite similar actually to that Force India livery, doesn't it? But just with slightly tweaked colours. There he is, Unite in all of his glory. He's got a slipstream.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity to make a pass. Ayub wants to have none of that, but I think Unite made it too impossible to deny him. So yeah, nicely done. But thankfully, no collision there.
Yeah, so far Sean loves this because this gives him some breathing space. It's over 1.25 seconds ahead of Unite. It will be more, I guess, on the next split.
Indeed. Shout out to Zesty. He's dropped back ever so slightly, but he's trying to wind up and move out of the final corner again. I don't know if he's close enough. Fatal drops a wheel again, another slight correction, but as you can see from the onboard, Zesty is not close enough again. So Fatal holding on just enough. Now, the slipstream length, the distance you have to be behind another car before you can make use of that slipstream is quite generous in the speed, as Fatal once again runs wide. So he's looking in his mirrors, gents. He is not comfortable, and he is not happy with Zesty being that close behind.
Well, currently I will have to counter your commentary because he drove the fastest lap of his race, and he was even faster than Gabor, but Zesty is trying to push also very hard. So everyone's on the maximum pace, and right on the edge of their skills and of the grip of the car.
Yeah, Zesty was so close to the back of Fatal out of the little midfield complex there, but crucially, Fatal had a better exit. Now, Zesty is definitely, by the looks of this, on a better pace on average than Fatal at the moment. But again, in the final sector, we cross over the sector line now. Well, Zesty does anyway. Into the final sector, Zesty's just crucially just a little bit too far behind. Doesn't want to touch that apex and doesn't want to run wide there. It's so easy to drop a wheel over the back of that curb before at the end of the penultimate corner, and you can end your entire race there. But again, yeah, he's just not close enough, as Gabor comes across the start-finish line to start lap 6, closely followed by this fight. He's only 1.9 seconds up the road, Eoin. He's not that much further up the road.
Yeah, I suppose that last camera shot would have given us a chance to counter ourselves, but yeah, bang on 2 seconds pretty much. It feel like an eternity, but certainly not, because we know how good Gabor is. But if he's not miles and miles ahead already, then it is a competitive race.
No, and something happened to Unite because he dropped down to 9th, and he keeps losing because his tires are overheated. So yeah, he just sent an apology into the chat. Whatever happened, it must have been a big spin, and he has also damage to his rear wing. So he probably hit the wall somewhere.
Well, has he chosen the wrong setup, or did he just make a mistake? That's an interesting one. I'm guessing he didn't choose the wrong set, but he's gone off again. Unite not having the best opener to Season 2 of RTFR. Remember, of course, if you want to get involved in RTFR, then we encourage your participation. All you have to do is turn up on a Tuesday evening to the RTFR server and just set a lap time in the 60-minute qualifying. And if you're in the top 40, you get to race. If your time's within the desired 1.5%, but sometimes Rony can give you a buy if you prove that you are at least able to navigate the track safely.
Trouble for the Hamuli. He's gone wide at turn 12. Now he's let Unite through, as a matter of fact. So 2 drivers in a spot of bother, but Unite has the better of the worst outcomes.
Unite still managing his tires, which are bright red currently in the F9 menu, which means they are very overheated. He will be welcoming any straight with a relief, but are they long enough? It will take a while for sure to cool down.
Yeah, and in a sprint race, you don't want to be in a position where you're having to cool your tyres down. That's absolutely not what you want at all. If you're wondering where TC Racing Adam is, then actually he's about 20 feet behind me, driving around a different track in Edinburgh.
Yeah, that's fascinating to hear 2 races going on simultaneously in different parts of in real life and in sim racing.
Here we have a top down of Unite coming up the back straight. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be necessarily enjoying this car tonight, but he's trying to close back up to Pedro there, and seems to have managed it. So hopefully his wobbles are over, and he's going to be able to get back up the grid potentially. It is, like I said, it is really difficult to cool your tyres down during a sprint race, especially in the FO8, which has big old chunky rubber at the rear end, and it's gone. He's lost it. He's in the wall. That's the end of his race.
Over. That's race over. His car was totaled. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, game over for Unite, unfortunately. A great camera angle there off the back of Pedro's car, just seeing him lose it into the dirt, but unfortunate ending for him. As Zesty does appear to have dropped back slightly. So it's crucial to comment that in this situation, it is so much easier to chase than it is to be chased. And Zesty, well, he had plenty of opportunities, and Fatal had to really focus to keep him out of the slipstream as we return to the back of the field. This is Last Lap Motorsports Sobis, who's gone wide and has let Monta McCarry through for Zafaralis. That's your teammate, that's Mika's teammate, who is also in this race. He was in this race at least, but is not currently in the race. So I think he must have had an incident at some point, or chose not to start. But Mika Sarkinen normally joins us for RTFR XL, getting my races mixed up. But yes, Monta McCarry there making a move on Sobis.
Yeah, Sobis looks like he's not enjoying this race, or I would expect him a bit higher, but I think he was struggling with technical problems today, and his lap times are more than 4 seconds slower than the top of the race. So yeah, he's just cruising today, trying to make whatever he can.
Yeah, big slide there from Matt Jester. Oh, double slide there. He grabbed a hold of the wheel, I'm sure, and kept it going.
A nice look back at the driver. Can't quite see the look of focus on his eyes, but you can imagine it for sure. Driving this car, it is a fierce challenge. And Mad Jester there, one of the 17 drivers remaining in this race who will be enjoying his time, because this car is a lot of fun. When you get it in its sweet spot and you find the right balance and you can muscle it around the track, as we see another driver. Chris needs to stop using this camera angle at this corner.
Yeah, it's also big damage to his left side. Yeah, this track doesn't forgive you mistakes like this.
We need to get some, I don't know, like lasers, CG lasers on our broadcast. Oh my. Anyway, that was unfortunate. I have no words actually for that one.
Mad Jester, his car is fit to continue. It wasn't as big a hit as it was on Unite's car. So yeah, he just needs to keep going and avoid that mistake in future.
Well, we ride on board with Zamuli for Zafaralis. He's chasing Pedro, and Pedro making a mistake. And I think he might have spooked Zamuli there, actually. I think that's why that's happened. And yeah, Pedro needs to find some focus if he is to keep P8 in this race. Meanwhile, the gap at the front is approaching 4 seconds, so Fatal has slipped slightly further back. So too, though, has Zesty. Zesty is a further 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds back from Fatal. There's the top three. Chris picks a nice camera for us to see the extent of that pit lane, the home straight, and the gaps between our top three. Here is Gabor. We haven't seen him for a while, driving, as Travis alluded to, that Ferrari livery on the F08. And well, he's just out for a Tuesday drive, isn't he? He's enjoying his time here. Halfway through the race is approaching us, at which point we're going to run down the order. But half a lap to go before that happens. But yeah, it looks like Pedro is actually struggling here, Eoin.
Yeah, he's representing a Renault Formula E livery on his car. So the Hamuli will want to take this opportunity now to put the attack mode in and see what happens.
Yeah, Pedro actually with colder tires, he's struggling to heat them up. So he might have different kind of problems than other drivers today.
Yeah, well, Thamuli's got the best seat in the house. We have the best seat in the house also to watch him try and make this move. Again, it really affected by the dirty air going into the braking zone there. And, Pedro's just able to get that exit. Thamuli can't be... he needs to brake slightly earlier in the braking zone there because there just won't be the grip under him when he wants to turn in if he's that close to the back of Pedro. But anyway, Chris has tempted fate and has chosen the rear view on a car coming through this sector again. And this time, the prize goes to Thamuli for surviving. It wasn't quite the same camera, to be fair. It wasn't on the wing. It's on the gearbox. So Chris can have another go the following lap.
Yeah, the run down to start-finish straight. Thamuli needs to be a lot closer for the slipstream to have maximum benefit. But there we go. We're halfway through this race.
And it just shows that you need to be, you can usually pass only in the braking zones. The rest of the track is usually taboo for passing unless the driver ahead makes a mistake. So yeah, Thamuli has some catching up still to do, even though he's just less than a second behind. He needs to be much closer to be able to profit from this situation.
Well, there are multiple battles that are shaping up, but none more so than the Rayman versus Michael Malik battle. Here it is, as Rayman pulls out of the slipstream of Michael. He's going to go for the move, is he, into the chicane? No, he's did he back out, or has he got too much downforce? What happened there? I felt like he had the run and could have easily made that move. But anyway, he is going to get the move done, I think. He's still on the inside of Michael. Michael will have the inside for the next corner, but yeah, he does. So, but Rayman's somehow able to hold it around the outside. He's messing with him. There we go. Now he's through.
It was a nice piece of driving from both of the drivers. Michael almost loses downforce and goes too wide, but manages to hold it on the track. But yeah, it was a really good couple of turns these drivers gave us. And Michael runs wide and almost goes to the grass again.
Yeah, but it's fine because Chris isn't using the reverse angle, so he's safe,
Yeah. So yeah, but Michael still in the slipstream, he seems to have less downforce than Rayman, so he's catching him massively on this straight. He's going down the inside again and passes Rayman. Almost touching on the first king. Rayman does a switchback and takes the position. Doesn't take the position yet, but Michael will probably pull away a bit because of his setup. So yeah, he keeps the position for now. There's a big difference in the downforce which will play a role. This will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, well, Michael gets back in front, but for how long? It's great to see drivers scrapping as Michael gets loose with the rear coming out of the chicane, and that's going to give Rayman another opportunity. But he goes to the outside. No, drops back into the slipstream. And well, we're going to run on board. I know what Chris is doing. I know what he's gearing up for here. But I'm going to sit back and enjoy as we have Rayman tucked under that gearbox, coming into. Oh dear.
Here we go.
Oh dear.
The understeer again kicks in.
No luck, Chris. No luck. Third time lucky.
Raymond says not today, and keeps carrying on.
Yeah, those two will keep scrapping, I'm sure. But yeah, they're very different in terms of the setup approach. So they're not, clashing at the same corners. It seems to be one has the better of it in half the track, and the other probably better on the straights.
It looks like Sean. He's in P4, happily in P4, but I want to keep an eye on that gap between him and Ayub. Ayub has a huge gap back to Rony, so this is kind of the last real fight inside the top 10. For a high up position, this is for P4, and Ayub looks like he may have been gaining on Sean, but we'll have to keep an eye on the times to see whether that's trending downwards. The gap at the front is pretty stable. We didn't do the rundown, so we're going to do it now. So Gabor leads out front with Fatal in P2, some 4 seconds back. Then we've got Zesty 2.5 seconds back from Fatal. Then it's Sean. He is in a close battle now with Ayub, just 1.1 seconds separating those two. A big gap back then to Rony in P6, who has kind of the second pack of racers in his mirrors.
Oh, Koivunen wide. He does save himself from hitting the wall though, but turn 13, very, very dangerous in this car.
We were just about to get to Pekka, and I was too slow on the rundown. We could have caught the incident, but there we go. Pekka comes across start-finish. He is in P7. Then it's Pedro, who seems to have pushed Thamuli slightly back, and rounding out the top 10 is RD2. Michael Malik still fairly close with Rayman. That gap is under a second. I think that's the closest gap of anybody at the moment. Yes, it is the closest gap of anybody. Any fight that's currently happening. No, tell a lie. Pedro and Thamuli are actually closer. Then we've got Johnny SVK behind Rayman, some distance back. Then Motti Macari, Last Lap Motorsports, Sobis, Race Green's Magic, and I can't read out the team name on the broadcast. That's the problem. SGR. I know what it stands for, I just can't read it out. But Mad Jester is in P17.
Yeah, he keeps carrying on with some steering damage or some car damage which prevents him from steering properly. So kudos to him for keeping it on the track and staying within his normal pace.
Yeah, as we watch Pedro BR being overtaken finally by Thamuli. It was from quite a long way back, but I think maybe Pedro made a mistake or something. Because going over start-finish, when we did the rundown, Pedro was a fair distance ahead and runs off the track. Didn't even need the reverse camera for that. As we head into the final sector, Pedro is struggling somewhat with this car. Surprising, because Pedro loves this sort of car and this sort of race. He's normally very, very strong, but very unusual to see him struggling like this.
Yeah, but still a top 10. He wouldn't turn it down, even if he is struggling. He has the chance to go for P8. There's still enough time. They're crossing the line to start their 15th laps as well. So, yeah, Pedro still has time, but yeah, he just needs to avoid hitting that grass now.
Well, just a quick update on the fastest lap, which is no longer in possession of Gabor because Fatal beat it by 1/10 of a second lap ago.
Yes, not quite a clean sweep there for Gabor. Yeah, that's great to see. Fatal hasn't conceded this race by any means.
No, he's still there. And remember that the point standings are completely zeroed. The first points on the board for Season 2 will be decided tonight. Season 1 is over. That's it. Done. No more points to be awarded there. Gabor won it, and he won it in quite a good fashion. But yes, it looks like he's on his way to score the highest points possible for race number 1. As he comes across start-finish to start the 16th lap. 5 to go here at round number 1 of Season 2 of RTFR in 2023. It's a lot of numbers, it's a lot of acronyms, but we love it. It's the best thing to do on a Tuesday night.
Oh, Magic kicking up dust there. This is also this is for position in fairness. So yeah, it's not just about being worried about the blue flags. He can get out of Fatal's way very soon, but when they're clear of the leaders, they can resume their fight. That's LLM Sobis ahead. So yeah, oh goodness gracious, that's not going to help. So yeah, Magic is through, but he has to yield eventually. Fatal will be appreciative of the slipstream at least.
Yeah, I just noticed there I was running down the order that Zesty has made some mistake in last lap because he dropped to 5th position. He lost 11 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah, Zesty's had an issue.
Oh, sorry, I haven't noticed it before, but yeah, I was a bit out of
No, I think
focus.
I think we all missed that one. Zesty was ahead of Sean. Sean was 4th. That's why Sean's now in 3rd. And Abe was always in P5, and he's now P4. So that's the confusion out of the way. We're not sure what happened, even though we have lots of eyes and ears in the commentary box. We're all in places where we shouldn't be tonight. So that's why we couldn't see what happened there. But anyway, Sean has made it up to P3 in a rare turnout for RTFR. Sean is from Singapore. It's quite. Is it late or early in Singapore? It's kind of both, isn't it?
they're 8 hours ahead.
Yeah, that's crazy. He should be asleep, but anyway, he's racing, and we applaud him for that. And Madjester's gone off in that same corner. There's a lot of front end damage on the McLaren, the old McLaren livery. Sorry, that's from earlier. So that's just he's just recovering there. But that's twice now he's been off at that corner.
Yeah, my focus is now on Zesty as we watch Rayman, but Zesty is doing his usual fast laps again. So with 4 laps to go, he has his both rivals close ahead. So there's some action to be seen, hopefully.
Indeed. Well, we are into the dying stages of this race. We are watching Abe there for Born to Race. Currently, they are not racing each other. Only the B2R cars are slightly far apart from each other today. Unusual. Normally they're in packs, but the FO8 is difficult to do pack racing in an FO8. With Zesty just behind, trying to make something of this race. P5 would be good, but in a single seater, he is going to want to have a higher finish than that. So Zesty will want a better finish than P5. He loves the single seaters, Zdenek.
Oh yeah, I was surprised to see him make a mistake. So this is going to be extra fun for him because he was circling comfortably in 3rd place. Now he has to do something to gain the 3rd place back, as he drives his fastest lap of the race, 38.7, which is only 1700 of a second slower than Gabor's fastest lap, and Ayub also almost drops it on the exit of turn 1 and 2. And that allows Zesty to get close, but he was in the slipstream, and almost had to go a bit wide.
Yeah, too close. I mean, these drivers they're experienced, and they should know that you shouldn't be that close in the braking zone. It's just, you're going to lose traction. You're not going to be able to get through the corner, and this is the result. Zesty had a great opportunity, but didn't have enough forward planning into the braking zone, and now the gap has gone back up to Abe.
I think it's the pressure because he has the time is running out, and he's trying to push hard to get as much time and positions as possible. So 2.5 laps to go.
Yeah, Cursed Cam is back on, so let's see what happens as we head through this section. It looks all good. Zesty is experienced pair of hands. Ayub is in command here, but can't afford to make any more mistakes. Zesty is gonna have to. Yeah, Ayub I think feeling as though he has to go defensive. He doesn't want to give any of the slipstream away to Zesty. But look, Zesty's reeling him in. He's given some away, and here we go. We're going to have a move on the home straight. Absolutely. Let's see what Zesty does. Abe's going to defend the inside. He should defend the inside. Is Zesty going to go for it? No. Goes to the outside, but he's going to be through. It's not going to matter. He is past, and Abe tries to go for the counter-attack on the inside. Not going to work. Not going to find any way back through there. Zesty's got that wrapped up. They've got some traffic, but it doesn't matter. Zesty's pulled out a big enough gap. Up to P4 then for him.
Yeah, it's one. Oh, Johnny SVK in the gravel spinning out. And hopefully he will get back. Seems like he's okay, but yeah, big mistake by him.
Yeah, he's all on his own there. Thankfully, he can rejoin safely at turn 12 now. He's taking that corner on, so yeah, that's all fine. He can finish the race. Zesty here continuing his comeback tour. Can he get Sean before it's too late?
0.8 of a second gained on Sean in the first sector alone, and it's 0.8 of a second gap on the first split. So he's flying. He has a 1.5 laps to go, and Sean is trembling, I'm sure, in his car because he sees him closing in every turn.
This lapped driver, it's Sobus. Hopefully he doesn't do himself any disservice by getting out of the way of the leader cars. Yeah, the blue flags are well and truly illuminated for him, so he'll hopefully have this opportunity to get alongside. But here comes Zesty on the slipstream. He's not going to be close enough, so he's going to have to hope with the last lap underway that he can trick Sean into a mistake.
Sobis yields and lets the two drivers go through. Oh, it was very close. Oof, almost a contact. I was scared for a bit.
Through the first chicane they go. Now this is Sean's personal least favorite corner of the track in terms of difficulty, heading up the hill. Now he's through it. Sean now blocking the corner entry as he needs to do. And now there's another back straight to come. But this could be where Zesty lines up his final attack.
It's
half a lap to go. Yeah, he's a bit far.
I think it will be last chance to sprint to the finish line or some brave dive, which I don't think will happen in this part of the track. As Sean still keeps defending, we are watching Gabor in the penultimate corner.
Yeah, Gabor has completed the final turn and will win Season 2's opener for 2023 in Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. And unfortunately for Fatal, there was nothing he could have done about it. But a P2 on the season opener is plenty good enough. And now here comes the battle for the podium. Sean has track position. Zesty wobbles. It's Sean going to take the podium place there. He will sneak it through, but that's a fabulous drive there from the Singaporean. Zesty will be disappointed to have lost it. AUP5 there, guys.
Yeah, very close finish, third to fifth in just over 1 second gap. So yeah, Ayub drove his personal best in the final lap as well, and by a massive gap.
Yeah, but what a show from Gabor, absolutely untouched by anyone else. The gap was reasonable in the end. Fatal did do a solid job there to finish just 5.5 seconds behind. Apologies for my silence there. Michael Weddle came into the room. As we have Sean in P3. A few cars just finishing the race. We have Michael Malik, who is going to lead out. That's Born to Race Rayman.
Yeah, Raymond didn't find his way through Michael, so he stays in 12th position behind him. Johnny in 13th place after his spin, probably the final driver to cross the line if there's nobody else. Yeah, 17 drivers finishing the race. Final one is Matt Jester in the 17th position.
So we can do a full rundown of the order then. And let's have a look at the final results of round one. As you said, Owen, the opener goes to Gabor for season 2, starting the way that he finished 33 minutes, 0.08.70. He is victorious once again. Then it's Fatal, Sean, Zesty, Abe, Rony, Pekka Koivunen, Thamuli, Pedro, and RD2. You can see there in the background that Gabor has climbed up onto the podium. It's a nice setup that they've got here for RTFR. Look at that. A nice little ramp that takes you up to the actual podium. It is only Gabor on the podium, of course, because it's RTFR. We only have a winner. We don't really give the other 2 podium positions the respect they maybe deserve, but the victory lane, we call it, like Indianapolis. The victory lane goes to Gabor this time. In P11, it's Michael Malik, then Rayman, Johnny SVK backwards, Mortimer Carey, Magic, Sobis, Madjester, Unite, Lara, and T-Bug, the top 20. Then over on the second page of results, there are none. Actually, that's it. We only have those finishes. 20 starters, 20 finishers. I got ahead of myself there. Sorry, 17 finishers and 3 DNFs. A nice opener there. And Travis has just walked back into the room. So, Owen, I'll hand it over to you for a moment.
Okie doke. So there we go. Zdenek, I thank you very much for stepping in on short notice. I suppose not as dynamic as the very first season 1 race of 2023, but Gabor probably doesn't care. He wants to complete a double for this year. And some very exciting drives, particularly there for Sean, Zesty, and Ayub. They were great. Pedro Bior, a few ups and downs for him, and Michael and Rayman very close. So how did you think it went? Because I enjoyed that quite a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a Formula V8 race, so the gaps are to be expected, but the drivers provided us with plenty of action, and Zesty's mistake gave us a nice close to the race with his fight through back to 4th place, but also battles throughout the whole field, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. Yeah,
that's super to hear. Obviously, the next round is coming up in 2 weeks' time, but I believe XL should be making its grand return after its monthly break. I suppose that's 12 rounds, once for each month. But there we go, August 15th. We have a special mod coming up as well. I think it's the Suzuki Alto style car. I'll have to double check that. Yeah, that should be one to certainly whet the appetite. Something very different compared to a V8 monster of an open wheeler. So we'll keep an eye out on that for the next fortnight. But appreciate your time, everybody. And if there's nothing else, I might as well call that a stream. And thank you very much for your time. For myself, Owen Harmon, Zdenek, Cagas, and Pete Butcher and Chris McElroy. Have a good evening. Goodbye for now.
Yeah, goodbye.